Hey everybody, so with Mother's Day just a couple days away, we're going to wrap up our mom-focused week. So I just wanted to take the time to say Happy Mother's Day to those of you that watch, that are moms. I also want to take the time to just acknowledge those of you that yet to be moms, hopeful moms, moms in your heart but don't have a baby to hold yet, that I salute you, I honor you, I stand with you in knowing that Mother's Day necessarily isn't a day to celebrate, but a day to just feel a lot of pain. And so I want to be sensitive to that and know that my heart goes out to you, and I can't fathom that. And it's my prayer that God will fulfill that longing for you to someday have that baby in your arms. And I have prayers and thoughts for you as you go through this weekend. So a few of you have asked about community, and I wanted to just take a couple minutes to talk to you about finding community as a new mom. It is really hard to transition into motherhood in so many ways. I mean, physically, emotionally, and mentally. A lot of you transition from working full-time to just becoming a stay-at-home mom, and that can become so challenging in its own ways. Life goes from fast lane 100 to the fast lane on the opposite end that is full of exhaustion and loneliness and a lot of Googling, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? And there's so much importance in having a community, whether you have your family or a few close friends or a church body or a group behind you to support you. There is so much importance in that. The question is, how do you get that community? For some people, it doesn't come easily. For some people, you don't have any friends, so you might be the first person in your group of friends to have a baby, and you're then dealing with other people's not understanding. You might have recently moved and are in a new city and don't know any new moms, or you might just not have had or really ever had any great close girlfriends. And so motherhood can also be this time of very desolate, desperate, lonely isolation. And I don't think, though, that is how God intended it. So if you find yourself in that spot, how do we as women step out boldly and seek that community, those handful of really close, tried and true friends that you desperately need and desire? When Beckham was born, a lot of my really close friends I had been in college with had suddenly moved away. Sure enough, they had kids, but they didn't live near me anymore. And my good college friends that lived nearby, and some of them didn't have kids at all, some of them were still single, so it was really hard. And I remember, and Travis and I constantly remember and go back to talking about just remembering that season of me feeling so lonely and crying a lot. I had a lot of just hard adjustment with Beckham. Just loved him desperately and dearly, but I also just struggled with feeling unproductive, feeling lonely, like what's my purpose? Like I just feel like it's Groundhog Day every day. It was a huge change, and I just remember taking that time to just really pour out my heart. I know it sounds like a typical response, but I prayed for a community of friends. I prayed that God would provide that. And when Beckham was probably about 10 months old, I had a Bible study leader at the time who led a couples group who I kind of approached and said, I have a couple of friends. I don't know them that well, but I suspect that they might be open to starting a mom's Bible study. Would you be open to leading it? And she jumped all over it. And this May, we're wrapping up our 4th year that we started that young mom study that has then gone to grown and gone to break off into other mom studies throughout the county, another one in Point Loma. And it was all just based on a lot of prayer, like God provide me with friends that I can do life with and walk alongside with in my community, and then taking a step of faith and reaching out and asking, would you be willing to open it? Would you be willing to lead a study? Would you few friends, there were maybe like 5, 6 of them that I knew that recently had babies or had 1 or 2 year olds, would you guys want to be a part of this? It takes a little bit of you getting outside of yourself to just ask. So I think that is really the key for me, that it comes down to is just prayer and then stepping outside your comfort zone. If you are in a space of feeling lonely, and in need of friends, there's most likely other people around you in your community that feel the same, that you might see a young mom at church and just introduce herself when you're walking up to the nursery, or you got to get outside of yourself, because then once you do that, I mean, what mom doesn't want to go meet up at the park and have a play date? Or what mom doesn't want to be invited over for a hot cup of coffee? I totally recommend prayer, stepping out of your comfort zone, asking to start like a once a month or once a week, even just a Bible study or play date group, or even if you don't have anyone to watch your kids, that the kids play and the moms try to get in a few words, or read together a sweet book. And I can guarantee that the more you do that, the more then you might be invited into another person's group when they see that you're searching. So I just encourage you to do so and practice that, practice those steps of faith, and watch how God provides. God really provided for me when I was in a season of loneliness, and I now feel like I have a lot of really close, dear friends that I can call and that I can lean on when I go through really hard things or need someone to pick my kid up from preschool or whatever. And it has taken time and just a lot of prayer and patience as I see how God has brought the desires of my heart along. If you follow me on Instagram, you see that I just received this book. It's called The Magic of Motherhood, by the writers from the Coffee and Crumb blog and podcast. If you're unfamiliar with them, go check them out. This book is so sweet. It's full of a bunch of essays written to moms. And the first few that I read, I was just moved to tears. I mean, they're phenomenal writers. And one thing that I love that Coffee and Crumbs is doing is tomorrow. They're doing this thing with the hashtag Loveyourvillage. I love the quote that Anna Jordan wrote, and Coffee and Crumbs put on their website a free printable that you can print out, and it says, "As it turns out, one of the most wonderful joys of motherhood is the other mothers." And when I read that, I just made me want to cry. It's so true. One of the best parts of motherhood are the other people that can come alongside of you. And so the Coffee and Crumbs challenge is on May 12th, which is tomorrow. I know I'm not giving you a lot of time, is to surprise a mom friend in your life, or a mom mentor, or your own mom. Print out, I'm gonna link below a copy of that little statement, or just write it out. And they want you to drop it off on a friend's porch, doorstep, whether that be a single flower, or a coffee drink, or even the book. Go do that. Go bless somebody's day. Go just extend yourself and show people how much you love them. So I'm personally going to try to take part in the challenge, and I want to challenge you to do the same. Going into Mother's Day weekend, I think we as moms sometimes have a lot of expectations, right? How we want the weekend to go. And it just doesn't go the way we want, but how beautiful of a way to enter into the weekend, blessing another mom in your life, and just showing them how thankful and grateful you are for their friendship, I think goes such a long way. So I just wanted to share that with you. I thought it was such a great idea. Hashtag Loveyourvillage is so beautiful, and I encourage you guys all to do that. So that is it. Hope you, if you're a mom, have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Just enjoy your family. That is truly the best gift of all. Those kids just love you, and you're awesome. Have a great weekend, guys. We'll see you next week.